And I want to make sure we don't land up trivializing the second point, because all of us believe we're expert in SCM. You know, when I still go out to agencies and ask them for solutions, you know, they are extremely basic in terms of meeting the client needs. So, you know, one of the things that I was involved in for the last 3 months was a social campaign called No Criminals, to try and appeal to people not to vote for people with criminal backgrounds in elections. And we went out, we spoke to you know, agencies saying, how can online help us? And the thought process that came up was very energetic, but you know, intellectually very basic. Finally, we were able to use mechanisms, including social media, for registering people, not just for brand awareness, at a much more effective cost than we could have done otherwise on the internet. But I think the onus is on all of us to enhance our knowledge base to a level where we're on top of these things, ahead of the curve, rather than lagging 3 years behind the lead markets. What is of interest to us on the internet? You know, I think there are 2 kind of lenses that I apply when I look at opportunities on the internet. One clearly is concept arbitrage. We've been beaten enough because we like concept arbitrage, we continue to like concept arbitrage, right? These are models that have worked elsewhere. They can be imported, customized, and you can make money off them. I've just listed out here, you know, top internet sectors by market cap in the US, right? So, you know, search or portal business, advertising, e-commerce, travel, clearing houses, financial services, advertising, ISP, education, Web 2.0. And I've listed some of the Indian players on the extreme right in these spaces. And clearly there are some of the spaces where global players dominate the Indian landscape. So, you know, search and portals is one of those spaces. Clearing houses, you know, definitely another one. Web 2.0 so far is again a space that's been dominated by the global players. But there are clearly spaces where you need to have a strong local presence and local understanding to create an India business. You know, jobs is one of them, matrimony is another one. Travel, even though it looks, you know, a lot more like concept arbitrage, has again grown on back of very significant local innovations. You know, not just in terms of how you sell, but you know, in terms of how you collect money, what will be done online versus what will be done offline, user sophistication, integration with suppliers. All these are aspects that have to be solved on a local basis in India. So, you know, obviously some of these spaces are, you know, in my mind are, you know, done with, right, from a venture standpoint. Some of the areas that are not done with, you know, and I think we'll see interesting businesses come up in the next 3 to 5 years on those, are in e-commerce, advertising. Advertising, I continue to believe, is a very small space in India, but will continue to grow, and hence it will lead to opportunities for entrepreneurs. Education, again, I talk of education more in the sense of technology-enabled online delivery of education. Personal finance services online. I think, you know, all of these are interesting areas. Significant localization is required in all of these. So if you take, you know, the personal finance services in the US, right? If you take a Quicken and say I'm going to transplant that to India, that's not going to work, right? The broad concept of people wanting to manage their investment, savings, taxation in one place is applicable. But how it gets implemented on the ground is probably going to be very, very different than it has in more mature internet usage markets. Secondly, quality of execution is a key success factor. If there's one learning from, you know, my startup days of 99, 2000, amongst people who made it and people who did not, was purely execution. Right? Everyone has the concept. That's the issue with concept arbitrage, right? As soon as I say quick, and you know the concept, I know the concept, we're all done with the concept. Now it comes down to execution better.